So, as all of you know, I'm Audrey's absolute favorite little sister, best friend, and twin, apparently. um, Growing up, Audrey has always been my greatest example. I remember her teaching me how to tie my toes, tie my shoes, how to whistle, how to, the do's and don'ts of traveling the world, and the ins and outs of completing college. She is my best friend, my favorite big sis, and my greatest example to continue looking up to. Ooh. After high school, Audrey has always taken the lead in flying the nest to living in Germany, Scotland, Washington, D.C., and to New Mexico. Since she's met Clayton and grown to love him, I've seen that she has finally found her nest. The first time I met Clayton was actually on their second date. Yes, it was weird, but I met up with them to go to a concert. And already preparing for it to be a little bit awkward, I was pleasantly surprised because Clayton was so welcoming and made sure I didn't feel too much like a third wheel. So thank you. And over the past 2 or so years of dating, of Audrey and Clayton dating, becoming engaged, and now having tied the knot, I have grown to see and love Clayton as the big brother I never had. I love seeing how sweet and thoughtful Clayton has been and will always be to my sister. Being together, I've seen them set and accomplish great goals, overcome challenges, and teach one another new things. I'm so grateful to have seen their fun-loving ways, from random living room wrestling matches to the spontaneous waltz or swing dance in the kitchen. So here's to the most adventurous couple I know, to Audrey and Clayton. May your troubles be less, your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. Love you guys.
Audrey, you are so lucky to have a man like my best friend Clayton. He is so caring, so handsome, so incredibly charming. I'm sorry, Clayton, I can't read your handwriting anymore. I'm Tom Barker. Me and Clayton have been friends since about 2010, so 6-7 years now. In that time, he's proven himself to be a great friend and even more of a great man. And I'm here to talk about Clayton and Audrey, though. Two people that have come together today to form a union that will surely last forever. And one thing I know important about Audrey is that she has made Clayton more happy than I've ever seen him in the last 6 years. Today's a day of joy and happiness for all of us, but it's not just a day. It's the very special beginning of a new life between Clayton and Audrey. So now as a team, they will embark on a new adventure together as man and wife. Clayton and Audrey, I toast to you and wish you both peace, health, and happiness.
A few examples of from Audrey's childhood. One thing that she did when she was like 6 or 7 years old, she came up to Joyce and I and she said, when am I going to have a big brother? When are we going to have a big brother in our family? And I imagine every first child. I can't imagine what that's like because I'm a fourth child, and Joyce is also a middle child, and so we don't understand what Audrey went through to be a first child in her family. And few people in this room have the luck or the dare to be a first child. And Audrey has had to do and act and do things that we haven't been able to step out and help her with because we weren't there first. She's had to be an example to us because I've never been a first child, been an example to her sister because she's never been a first child. And I look at that as a strength that she's going to take into her relationship with Clayton. And Audrey has found her center through that. She had to find her own center in many of the things that she's done. She came home from school one day with a report card. And I remember when I came home with my report card, it was always like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to see the reaction of my parents because it was C's and D's and occasional B's, whatever, in grade school. And Audrey came home and presented a report card, and one of the things that she wanted to point out was, look at what my teacher, she said I'm on the level. And she went around the yard like this saying, I'm on the level. She was kind of dancing around the yard. And I thought, wow, if I would have dared when I was 6 years or 8 years old, whatever, to come home and give my report card to my dad and say, look, I'm on the level. And it just wasn't me, but that is Audrey. Audrey has found her center. She is a very centered person, and she lives from that center. She lives from knowing who she is and not waiting for other people to tell her who she is. And in our life growing up, we've had some transitions in our life. Beliefs, religions, friends have changed. And I look at how Audrey and Danielle have had to shift with that and have had to make their own core. And their core have been their bodies of their friends who are here today. And many have traveled from out of state to be here. And it's you people who have enriched her life and been her guidance and been her first step, because she hasn't been able to sit back and say, somebody else take the step for me. She hasn't had that big brother. And I feel that the friends have filled in that gap and have been a really rich blessing in her life. Another thing about Audrey is that she's totally daring. From a young age, when we'd go on hikes or trips, she'd often be the one traveling up the side of the canyon wall to get on a cliff ledge and say, look at me, or something like that. And cautiously we'd coax her back down. But she's willing to put her foot forward and willing to go on her studies abroad alone in Germany, Scotland, places like that, because she is certain of herself. Even though she may not understand the world, she's certain of who she is. And that's an example that I've been able to learn from as a fourth child and as your father, okay, and as your friend. Lastly, I'd like to say that as she steps out with Clayton, I've seen them together. The few times that I've seen them, they step together in life. They're not competing against each other. They're competing with each other in races together, in life together, in planning together. And I think that this character that Audrey has, that she's developed on her own, because I haven't been able to coach you as a fourth child, is something that you together get to discover, and you get to go places where I've never been, and I hope to learn from you too and be enriched from your life. And I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank all of you who have come here and participated in this event, and with the richness that comes into this relationship, into their relationship from their friends and family members from both sides. I want to thank their mothers, Yvonne and Joyce, who have both been great examples in their life and who've been examples that Audrey can mentor, and Joyce and Clayton and Yvonne, and carry these and change these things up and show us who they are in the future. And this is what I hope to see. So basically, that's all I have to say. I've never felt butterflies today, like I'm losing a daughter. I feel like I'm gaining a son and gaining a richness of you too that I get to learn from, that I've never been before. So thank you. I love you. I cherish both of you. And one comment about Clayton is that when he came to our door for the very first time, I'd never met him before. I was in her kitchen, and he filled the door frame practically. And so my first thought was, okay, he's a muscle builder, he's got an attitude, and he came in. Within like 5 minutes in the kitchen, I thought, this is probably the guy that she's going to marry, because his demeanor is internal. It's kind of like Audrey's core, and I feel that they both have a center that comes from inside, and I look forward to seeing how that moves forward in your lives together. And I bless you both. Okay, cheers. Toast to Audrey and Clayton.
I'm Clayton's mother, and I will just start by saying a strong marriage affects thousands and thousands of lives. I believe that. Heard it on the radio and I believed it. And I believe that your marriage will affect thousands of lives through the years. It already is. Clayton, when he was 12 years old, wanted to take karate, and so we started him on karate. It was his own idea. And when he turned 18, 5 years later, he had his black belt in karate. And during that time, I think when he was 14, he became a police cadet. So this was something, again, that was in his own head that he wanted to do, and he did it. I don't even remember helping. He just did it. And also, he became a firefighter one summer, and he also joined a hazmat team. I'm not even sure what that's all about, but I remember him coming home filthy dirty, and he would just be walking like this to the door, and he was still my young child, and I really felt for him because I knew he'd been working so hard. But all these things were in his mind and things that he chose to do. And now he owns his own Krav Maga self-defense thing, so it's pretty amazing how far he's come. So that's the way Clayton is. He gets something in his mind, and he was like this from a kid. He had a toy or something he wanted, he would find a way to get that toy. And anyway, Clayton really goes for it. He left home when he was 18, and he's never come back to stay. He's found a way. And he's a hard worker, and I'm really proud of who he is. And Audrey, we are just thrilled. Our whole family is just thrilled to have Audrey part of our family now. And I feel that what your father said, that you do have a core, you know who you are, you're just delightful, and it doesn't take but a few minutes to really feel the person you are. And I'm just so thrilled for Clayton, and Clayton, I'm thrilled for you too. I love you.
The other mom. Okay, I'm going to read from some notes, but first I just want to say, let's put our hands together for a job well done on this wedding, Audrey and Clayton, and especially Audrey. Well done. She's been awesome and not at the same time. Because it's like, Mom, I can do it myself. And then it's like, Mom, help now. Mom, I can do it myself. Mom, help now. So it's been really fun to see you pull this off, and it's been, I applaud you. Good job. So without further ado, I have written a little letter. Dear Audrey, I've waited, oh my gosh. This shoe. I've waited for this moment since the day you were born, some 26 years ago, and yet I feel thoroughly and utterly unprepared. I've got to see if I can even read this. On the day you were born, your big blue eyes looked up at me as if to say, here I am. I trust you to love and care for me. I'm all yours. Today, you looked up in Clayton's eyes. In the same way, here I am. I trust you to love and care for me. I'm all yours. Audrey, you've grown into such a wise, beautiful, courageous woman. You've lived and traveled all over the world and have had so many unique adventures. Today, you'll be adventuring in a different way as you embrace your love, inviting him into your vulnerable spaces. You've shown grace and elegance as I've watched you twirl and dance your way through life. And by the way, she's an incredible, what do you call it? Viennese, no, what do you call that? Viennese waltz. Yes. Today you commit with your love, your friend, Clayton, to be each other's eternal dance partners. There will be dips and lifts, spins and embraces. Always dance together while looking only into each other's eyes exclusively. This will ensure that your dance will be full of joy and love that lasts beyond a lifetime. And then I have just a little bit after that. I just wanted to say to each of you, okay, so Audrey, I admire you for your high standards, your wisdom, and your loving approach towards others. These make you glow and amplify your physical beauty. Clayton, I admire you for your high standards. That's something you both have in common. A trait Audrey has made a priority in her search for a mate. Your honorable lifestyle and protective attitude amplifies your physical attractiveness. Together, as you hold these standards high and continue to make each other number one, above all else and others, no matter what, your union will defy most. Your marriage will be a success in ways in ways that light the way for others and gives us all hope that honorable love is possible. I love you both. May you find value in all things, and life will continue to wow you. Love you too.
Hey, everybody, I just wanted to thank you so much for each and every one of you coming, both of us. Here, dude, stand up. Just kidding. Man, husband. No, each one of you, we invited you here for a reason. You're a very important person in each of our lives, and we're so glad you could be a part of this, best moment of our lives. And I'm glad you could come and enjoy yourself. And hopefully we'll get the party started in 2 minutes. We'll do the cake cutting next and some dancing after. So stay tuned.
I guess I should go too. Again, thank you everybody for coming. Tom came out from Alaska. I have another friend from Florida, just about as far away as you can get in the U.S. from here. And then my other groomsman, Alex, who's local. And there's just a ton of you guys that I know I can call, and I know you'll be there, regardless of what the occasion is. So I appreciate everybody coming out. And then Audrey's family, it's been great to know all of you. And so thanks for everybody for coming and supporting us. I really appreciate it. So.